For everything your face has to face it with Puffs Ultra Soft and Strong. Puffs has soft, air-fluffed pillows that are dermatologist tested to be gentle on your skin. Face every day with Puffs softness.
Even if you do not believe in miracles or divine intervention, every once in a while a story comes along that sends chills down your spine.
This is one of those stories, so grab some tissues and be prepared for lots of happy tears for a change after you hear this.
In 1980, a 17-year-old girl named Darla Svenby found out that she was pregnant.
I was scared, frightened. I was immature. I didn't know what I was going to do.
In November of that year, she delivered a baby boy.
I really want to see my son. I want to see what he looks like. I want to tell him I love him. I can't provide for him. This is the best thing for him.
She asked the nurse on duty, a woman named Danella Walters, if she could hold her son to say goodbye.
I could have been fired, but I did it because you broke my heart. Reached over and handed her the baby. I held her while she held her baby. And the whole time she cried, I cried. She just kissed him on his forehead and handed him to me, and I took him out of the room. I've never forgotten it.
20 years later, Danella's daughter Amanda brought home a young man she'd been dating named Chad.
We had been dating, and Chad had said that, he was adopted. My mother just had saw a picture of Chad when he was a baby, a newborn, and she just looked at him, and it was just a godsend. You're that child. You're that child.
After months of searching, Chad finally tracked down his birth mother.
I see my mom for the first time, and I give her this great big hug. I lay my head down on her shoulder for the first time, not wanting to let go, just tears coming to my eyes. At that point, there's just a smile on my face all the time.
When we met, it was like nobody was there. It was magical.
The two families now have an unbreakable connection, and to this day, Darla and Danella remain close friends.
Danella, I always call her my angel. She brought my son to me the first time, and she brought him back to me.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
my God.
And Darla and Danella's story is just one of the many incredible experiences told in Squire Rushnell's book. It's called Divine Alignment. It's out in paperback now, and it's chock full of stories like this that people just think are random.
That's unbelievable.
Good to see you.
You think this is just random, but you think it's maybe one of those little coincidences, but it isn't.
Well, you call them God winks.
And they're God winks.
How did you come to find the people and the rest of the ones in your book?
Very often they find me.
They read your other books, right?
They are absolutely divinely aligned to these stories. People call, write to me every day on Facebook/Godwinks and leave their Godwink stories there. But very often I am divinely aligned to the stories for the book that I'm about to write. That's amazing.
You're in that right place to receive it.
Yeah.
Are all these things happening around us all the time? We just don't have the eyes to see them.
Well, here's how divine alignment works. We go through life thinking that we're on the fast track, helter-skelter, everything is just unfolding.
Rushing.
But we are, in fact, being divinely aligned by a built-in GPS. And what I talk about in this book are the 7 steps to help you navigate through life with divine alignment. And the GPS is what I call God's positioning system.
Well, and when you come in contact with someone, some people do and say, wow, and then they move on with their life. They don't do anything with the moment.
It doesn't change them.
It doesn't change but you should do more than just say, here we are.
You need to acknowledge them. In fact, I encourage people to just make a list of the God winks and the divine alignments, put it on a piece of paper on the refrigerator door. At the end of the month, you'll be astonished with how many times you've had these little experiences.
It's funny, my brother and I were on some hiking trip when we were just out of college. We were kids, and we were in Bruges in Belgium, in a tiny farm town. We were walking because we missed our bus, literally walking. We went to some youth hostel, and I'll never forget it. I'm walking down the stairs, and I see a camp counselor from so many years ago, and it seemed, I looked, we're in the middle of nowhere. I go, what are you doing there? But I remembered thinking to myself, how did this happen in the middle of nowhere? I'm sure everyone has a story like that.
Different as night and day. But enough about that.
Everybody has a story.
That's right. So, how many stories are in this book? I remember reading it when it first came out, the hard book, but there's at least 10.
Well, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Just amazing stories, and the thing about these stories is that they give us encouragement.
They give us hope, which is what we need.
And I really believe that if we start understanding the God winks, the divine alignment that is happening,
and being open to it, open to seeing it. Yeah.
And, well, you can't. You don't know they're there unless you accept them.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about religion here, are we?
No. But once you understand this, you will realize that you are on a pathway to more joy.
It's exciting, an adventure, and it's an adventure.
You're right.
The uncertainty turns into certainty, and you'll just have much more happiness in your life.
Isn't he full of
Hey,
happiness?
I knew Squire Wen, and believe me, he is telling
back.
way back, and you would never even recognize the man you were and the man you are today.
Congratulations,
Really?
Squire.
My hair's a little silver.
You've earned every one of them,
Yes,
baby.
you have.
And he's married to the single funniest woman on the planet, Louise Duarte. All right, love you, sweetheart. All the
Thank you,
best with
dear.
the book.